bird machine. Check.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Napoleon Bonaparte. Some people say that he was the second worst man right after Hitler. So let's start, and you can try to figure out if it's true or not. Mr. Napoleon, take a seat.
Hello.
Hello.
It is wonderful to be here today with you.
Thank you. So, good morning, Mr. Napoleon. I think that we all know you because you have changed the history of the Europe and so on. Now, first question. How is it possible that you are here in 2015?
Well, you may notice several differences from the pictures that were drawn of me. Number one, well, I was not born. I don't seem like I'm a European. That is because I've reincarnated, but I remembered everything.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. Thank you for that. Now, we all know you because of your hat, but where is it?
Well, I think this country has a problem with the robbers. I've been walking, then suddenly I noticed that I don't have the hat. I turn around and there's some person just running away with it. That never happened to me in France.
I'm really sorry about that. Okay, Mr. Napoleon, tell me, what kind of feeling was that when you became an emperor of France?
It was great. I finally achieved the goal that I could do what I wanted, achieve the actual point of the French Revolution, spread the influence of France, and destroy the ones who had kings and queens ruling over them. Because democracy and freedom is the choice. But the thing was, you could only reach it through being an emperor.
So, now Mr. Napoleon, you became a general at the age of 24.
Yes, I did.
That is really impressive. And as a general, you defeated 4 alliances.
Alliances. But okay, well, the thing was, it was not the whole time me being a general. As you already said before, I became an emperor, so partially from the time as a general, then as an emperor.
Countries you defended are Prussia, Spain, Austria, Russia, and partially Britain. And you also became a king of Italy.
And Egypt.
That is a huge success. So tell me, how did you manage to do that?
Well, first let me just correct a few things you had wrong. I did not do all this as I was a general, but partially during the time that I was emperor. The next thing is that I also didn't defeat partially Britain, but I partially defeated Russia, which I got all the way to Moscow. Then a lot of my men died, and that was a complete failure. Now, how did I do that? Well, I did it through several things, like having the complete trust of my soldiers, which were loyal and they were great. I think that all of them were great. Number 2 is through using every single man to his fullest potential. Number 3 is that I tried to make new tactics and effective tactics, and as some of you might know, I was called one of the best offensive tactic. I was one of the best in offensive tactics in the world at the time, and I'm still considered to be one of the best. There was even a strategic game called after me.
That's really interesting. What's the name of the game?
The name of the game is actually Napoleon Total War. It's like a series of some strategic games.
Thank you. Now, during the the time you were the emperor, you also reformed education and metric system. Tell me something about the way you did that.
Well, the education, I'm not going to talk about the metric system because that is kind of sophisticated. That was like that the one metric pound equal to 500 grams and things like this. But
Okay,
the education,
I understand.
I left the primary education kind of alone to clergy and people like this. But in the secondary education, that is pretty much the way education works in most of the countries these days, or it is based on the way I made it. So they learned sciences, all kinds of these lessons. They did not only learn one kind of specific subject, and it was really innovative. And also, as you might have known or read, or you might have not known, this is actually a new thing for you. I supported religion, and that was because of the stability for the country. So I could achieve so many great things with the army I had. And actually, to be honest, I didn't really support religion itself, but I knew that it was a great way to get stability in my country, which was what is important. Well, not really my country, our country.
Thank you. And something about your family. Your wife, her name is, I'm sorry, I can't read it.
Yeah, I know, it's really difficult. Maria Louise Duchess of Parma. Way too long name.
Yeah, that's true. So, I heard that you had decided to rename her.
Of course I did. Now, there were two main reasons. The first one was, look at that name, it's way too long, nobody's actually going to remember that. And number two is because the name is Austrian, and she's originally from Austria. And they would have killed her, the revolutionaries, and everyone would just want to kill her because she's from Austria. We were fighting even Austrians, so they needed to have a French name so the people, felt with her.
So, Mr. Napoleon, tell me something that no one knows, something about your private life.
Well, I can't tell you things that no one knows, because I became pretty famous and a lot of people, they digged up some really weird stuff about me. But I can tell you a bunch of interesting things. So for example, I joined the army when I was 9, or stayed in the militaristic school and then went to the army when I was 9. The teachers didn't really like me and I had no friends at school. Most people hated me. And a bunch of other things like that. That is it.